You're not antisocial. You see too much. Have you ever stopped to think why you sometimes feel like you don't belong in certain places? You ever walked into a conversation, looked around, and felt an emptiness, as if you were out of sync with a reality that everyone else seems to accept without question? Maybe you've been called cold, weird, distant, or even antisocial. But what if I told you that the problem isn't you? What if, in fact, what you call being antisocial is actually a gift? A gift to see beyond appearances, to perceive what lies behind the masks, to feel what goes unsaid. Today, we're going to embark on a journey together, not to change who you are, but to help you understand the strength in your unique way of seeing the world. We'll explore this through the lens of Carl Jung, one of the greatest thinkers of the human psyche, who left us tools to understand what we feel, what we perceive, and what we carry. This is a message for you who have ever felt different, for you who see too much. Shall we begin? Let's talk about something Carl Jung called the persona. The persona is like a social mask we all wear. It's that polite smile we put on, the carefully chosen words, the version of ourselves we show to the world. For many people, this mask is so comfortable that they forget who they are underneath it. They become the mask. But you feel it itch. You feel its weight. Not because you're incapable of wearing it, but because something inside you yearns for authenticity. When you're in a social setting and feel that discomfort, like something is out of place, maybe it's not you who's out of tune. Maybe it's your soul refusing to conform to what's false. You can't stand the superficiality of masks because you see what's behind them. And that, my dear, is not weakness. It's courage. Have you ever walked into a place and suddenly felt the energy shift? Like something in the air became heavier, denser? Maybe you've sensed a lie before it was even spoken, or picked up on a hidden intention behind a smile that seemed too perfect. This isn't paranoia. This isn't you imagining things. This is what Jung called the self, the deepest core of your psyche, operating beyond language, picking up signals that most people ignore. You feel the nuances. You notice the pauses in conversations, the glances that dart away, the words that don't match the energy. And that can be exhausting, I know. Because while the world is distracted by what's said, you're listening to what's unsaid. You're seeing what's hidden. And that's a superpower, even if it sometimes feels like a burden. We live in a society that idolizes extroversion. It's the person who speaks loudly, dominates the conversation, and seems at ease in any setting is seen as the ideal. But Jung teaches us something different. He said that the collective unconscious, that ancestral memory we all share, holds value in silences, in glances, in those who observe. Think of the archetypes that span cultures: the shaman, the hermit, the sage. They weren't the loudest, the most extroverted. They were the ones who saw, who felt, perceived what others didn't. You who feel uncomfortable in noisy crowds may be carrying that same ancestral power. The power to see beyond the obvious, to hear what the world tries to hide. Here's a truth that might be hard to hear. Sometimes when people avoid you, judge you, or treat you as different, it's not about you. It's about what you stir in them. Jung spoke of the shadow, that part of us we hide, deny, and don't want to face. When you enter a room with your silent, intense, observant presence, you activate the shadow in others. Your authenticity, even if unintentional, is like a mirror. And not everyone is ready to look into that mirror. That's why sometimes you're misunderstood. That's why sometimes you feel people pulling away. It's not because you're cold or antisocial. It's because your presence is powerful. It unsettles those who prefer to live on the surface. And that, my friend, is a sign you're on the right path. You know those small talks, those exchanges of rehearsed phrases that seem to go nowhere? They drain you, don't they? You try to join in, to fit in, but at the end of the day, you feel like you've spent all your energy on something that didn't nourish you. That's because your soul doesn't want social connections. It wants real connections. But you're sensitive to the energy of others. You feel when a conversation is just noise, when words are just a facade, and that tires you, not because you're weak, but because you're deep. Your soul needs silence to rebuild, to process everything you pick up, and that's okay. That silence isn't empty. It's full of you. You're not cold. You're deep. How many times have you heard you're cold or distant? How many times have you wondered if something was wrong with you because you couldn't connect with people the way they expected? Here's the truth. You're not cold. You're deep. People who see too much need more time to trust. You can't fake friendliness with a world you already see through. And that's not weakness. It's protection. You're not here to please. You're here to be true. It's being true in a world full of masks takes a courage few understand. Jung talks about archetypes, those universal structures that live in the collective unconscious. One of them is the archetype of the observer. Think of the wise elder, the prophet, the keeper of knowledge. They don't speak for the sake of speaking. They don't mingle for the sake of mingling. They observe, they absorb, they transform. You might be channeling this archetype without even realizing it. Your tendency to stay quiet, to observe, to feel before acting isn't a flaw. It's a calling. You were born to perceive, to grasp what lies beyond the visible. And that's a gift, even if it sometimes feels lonely. Trying to fit into environments where you see too much is like trying to squeeze your soul into a space it was never meant to occupy. It's a form of self-abandonment, Jung would say. Better to be whole than to be accepted. When you force yourself to be like others, to talk like them, to laugh like them, you betray what's most sacred in you, your authenticity. Don't force yourself to fit where your soul doesn't belong. Don't shrink to be accepted. Your vision is too valuable to be sacrificed. What you see, others aren't ready to see. Seeing too much isn't a curse, but it's not easy either. You pick up on truths others prefer to ignore. You see unconscious motivations, hidden intentions, power games that go unnoticed. That can make you feel isolated because not everyone is ready to face what you see. But know this. Your vision is necessary. It's a beacon in a world full of fog. And even if few recognize it, you're making a difference just by existing. Solitude isn't empty. It's full of you. It's the space where you meet your inner voices, where you dialogue with the archetypes you carry, where you rebuild yourself. Jung said that solitude is where we find the self, the center of our psyche, the source of our strength. When you withdraw from the external world, you're not running away. You're coming home. You're connecting with what truly matters, and that's healing. That's power. Be a filter, not a sponge. Seeing too much is a gift, but it requires wisdom. If you absorb all the energy around you, all the weight of unspoken intentions, you can feel overwhelmed. That's why learning to be a filter, not a sponge, is so important. You're not here to carry what isn't yours. You're here to observe, to understand, to transform. Practice self-care. Set boundaries. Allow yourself to say no to environments that drain you. Your energy is precious, and you have the right to protect it. You know that physical discomfort you feel in certain places or with certain people? The tightness in your chest, that weight on your shoulders, that urge to run? That's your body speaking. It's saying this isn't safe. This isn't for you. The energy you pick up is real, even if it can't be explained in words. The language is symbolic, but the effect is physical. Listen to your body. It's your ally. It's protecting you, guiding you, showing you the way. You have the right to choose silence. Not speaking is a choice. It's an act of power. Jung reminds us that the unconscious speaks through silence. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is stay quiet. It's not wasting your words on conversations that don't nourish you. It's preserving your energy for what truly matters. Your silence isn't weakness. It's strength. It's wisdom. It's a reminder that you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You are not alone. If you've made it this far, I want you to know one thing. You are not alone. There are many people out there who feel what you feel, who see what you see, but who also live this in silence. By hearing this message, you're awakening an ancestral knowing. The knowing that seeing too much is being a channel, a portal, a bridge between the visible and the invisible. You are part of something bigger. Your vision, your sensitivity, your depth are gifts the world needs, even if it doesn't yet know it. You are not cold. You carry too much fire to be distracted by sparks. You're not antisocial. You simply see what many aren't ready to see. And those who see too much, stay silent. Those who feel too much, retreat. Not out of fear, but out of wisdom, Carl Jung said. Those who look outward dream. Those who look inward awaken. And you are awakening. If this message touched your heart, if you felt it was written for you, leave a comment below with the symbolic password, I see more than it seems. You are not alone. You are living proof that seeing too much is an act of spiritual courage. Thank you for being here. Shall we continue this journey together? Follow us. Until next time.